Hi, this is Caroline, always reminding you that you are created beautifully. Today, my friend Natalie showed me how to do this DIY. This is a succulent wreath that we made here. If you are at all interested, please continue watching.
Alright, so first you need to take your sheet moss that you can buy at Home Depot, soak it maybe overnight if you don't have time to do it right before your project, you know, an hour or so before your project, so that it expands a little bit and that it has a lot of moisture in it for when you first put your plants in there. See how it becomes green again? The moisture revives the moss, if you will, because when you buy it, it's just like dried up. Or you could use cocoa mats. If you're hanging the wreath like on your door, that might be better because it won't let the water out. So when you're watering it or spraying it, the water won't wet your door. Cocoa mat is just a little bit harder to work with because it's a lot thicker. It's kind of harder to punch holes into it. So I got this wreath ring from the dollar store. This cocoa mat is actually from the dollar store as well. You see you can pull it apart. You don't want to have it super thick. Only use as much as you want. And then you just push it in here, kind of like this, right? You form it to the ring, and we'll tie
Like a metal wire?
Yeah, like a wire around it so that it'll stay. This is just to hold the soil and to not let out. The thicker you make this, the less water will go through. So if you're hanging it on your door, you might have to mat a little bit thicker so that your door doesn't get wet when you're spraying. Especially while you're tying the wires, it'll be easier with two people. We'll put the one side, we'll put the soil. So the soil is right here.
Is it any planter soil you could use?
Any soil at all. Since there's not that much soil in here, I would maybe recommend using like a Miracle Grow or something that has a little bit of fertilizer in it, because you won't have a lot of soil here. This one I have is some organic kind of gardening soil from Home Depot.
This doesn't have to be wet prior to this, right?
No, it doesn't, no. That's the beauty of the succulents, right? That they don't need a lot of water. All right, so I will probably tie this, and then we can put a little bit more soil and maybe stuff it a little on the sides with cocoa mats so that nothing falls out. The actual stuffing and preventing anything from falling out will just happen at the very end when we've already put our plants in, so that everything's in place. And also you will need to leave it sitting, maybe laying like this on the ground for a week or so, that everything gets nice and settled. And then you hang it up, then nothing will fall out. Let's put a little bit of this in the sides here. See, just like that.
So this is the wire that we're going to be using. I see what you're doing. It's like a nest.
It doesn't really need a lot of soil because, you know, succulents can grow in sand and rocks and whatever kind of environment, but
no, I didn't know
they get, If you didn't know, now you know. Let's tie it. So just make sure your wreath's lined up on the side. You can just go around and then maybe secure one of the ends just so you don't have it moving around a lot. Stick it in wreath so that you don't hurt yourself.
Right.
And then I would cut it kind of into pieces, so that it's easier to wind around, I mean, if you turn it right now, a little bit will fall out, but for the most part,
yeah, you're
right,
good.
it won't.
Yeah. This is how it's going to turn out.
So I have this huge succulent plant that kind of went out of control, and then it got too heavy for itself and broke off.
Does it matter how far to cut this part down?
You see how deep your wreath is, right? So you want to have a little bit of a stem. You don't actually have to have any at all, because you can secure it with the wire. Just if you're doing it the first time, kind of stay put easier and be able to get the water easier that you spray on it. I would keep a little bit of a stem. So you want to make sure it's not too long, and you can just break it off, and then you can just secure it wherever you want it. If you notice that it's too long and it doesn't look the way you want it to, because I want it to be flush with, then you just cut it off a little bit more. And do as many or as few as you want. You can make them, put them really tight next to each other, or you can space them out. They will, you know, grow. They will grow. They won't grow as fast as they do outside in the soil, but they will grow
here.
So just keep that in mind. If you put them very tight, it looks really nice at first, but then it's going to be a mess when they start growing. They will expand, and they will want to expand.
And literally, we're just sticking it in there.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
This is the sheet moss that we soaked, which once again, you can use sheet moss for the whole thing, right? So instead of using the cocoa mat here in the top, we're gonna stuff this in there. Stuff it in nice and tight so that the plants basically can't move until they grow roots, just a little bit loose. And you see how this is a totally different look from the cocoa mat. Like you can leave the sticking out a little bit and it looks nice, right?
Yeah.
Or you can push it all the way in if you don't like the look.
I feel like it makes it look aged, like mature.
That is a succulent ball that I made, I want to say, a month or so ago. And obviously it's not done because it's very sparse still. But just to give you an idea of what the succulents should look like. If you look at, let's say, these ones, obviously these like where they are. They get soil, they get water. You see this one, this is not happy. This is not supposed to look like that. This is supposed to be. So I would either take this out and put a different one in. Or I would just make sure that there's enough soil, like refill the soil, so make sure that this one has soil where it is.
Reaching it.
And then put more water. Usually the texture of the leaves will tell you. So if the leaves are nice and plump and hard versus this looks really thin and just not
happy.
Yeah.
So this is just an example of how you can have the wreath hanging. It's right here on her back fence with all this beautiful green. Looks absolutely gorgeous. So this is another spot here, like in the backyard on her pergola. Just adds a lot more flavor to it. It's like a little sitting area, totally cute. And this is a third option. You're just gonna use it as your wreath for your front door. Like, this is so gorgeous. Like, I would love to just walk up to my house and see this beautiful wreath. That's how we would water it. And we would keep it here for 2 weeks, and then it should be mature enough to hang wherever, like the examples that we showed you before. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notifications button, and comment below, and share this video. Oh, and give us a thumbs up if you're at all interested in more DIYs. God bless you. Bye.
Told you, this is super easy and like a good thing because everyone's into succulents right now, so. What else did I say? Subscribe, hit the notification buttons. And comment.
And share this video. Natalie, look at the camera.